After openly calling for starvation in Gaza, starvation of civilians, Randy Fine, U.S. congressman, was removed from AIPAC's website as a candidate that they endorse. He was recently condemned by Israel lobby group as these orgs deny starvation is occurring in Gaza. So he is so insane. He is so twisted and sick and just sociopathic when it comes to supporting Israel and their goals, their true goals that they deny themselves, that AIPAC had to remove him from their website. Now, I want you to listen to what Randy Fine said about Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson is the most dangerous anti-Semite in America.
Oh, Tucker Carlson, the most virulent spreader of anti-Semitic rhetoric on the face of the entire planet. Actually, that's even anti-Semitic to say the most virulent spreader of anti-Semitic propaganda in the entire galaxy, I think is the only way that we can, earn our $7,000 if we really are trying to appease the Zionist overlords. That is Tucker Carlson, according to Ben Shapiro, Randy Fine, Lindsey Graham, and they're freaking out right now. People are saying this is civil war within MAGA, but you and I know that there's always been a civil war in MAGA. It hasn't been really all that much of a fair fight, all that much of like this side of MAGA and that side of MAGA. No, it's been the donor class and the elite, the political elite, the Sebastian Gorkas, the Lindsey Grahams, the donor class, the Adelsons. It's been all of them who are pro-Ukraine, want to do regime change all across Latin America, wars in Africa. They want to do support Israel at any cost. War against China. This you can't really say is MAGA, now can you? And this is what freaked people out about MAGA, because MAGA is separate from Trump. Oz Al-Din of the Infrared Show made the great analogy that when you go to McDonald's, you don't go to McDonald's for Ronald McDonald, the clown. You don't go to see Ronald McDonald. You don't go to high five Ronald McDonald. No, you go for the Big Mac. You go for the Big Mac. And MAGA is the Big Mac. Trump is Ronald McDonald the clown. That's how I want you to think about MAGA. MAGA is its own unique sovereign. MAGA is a sovereign within American politics. And that's why people are freaking out right now, because the Randy Fines, the Lindsey Grahams, the Adelsons, whoever it is, they are beginning to see very clearly that MAGA, especially young male MAGA, cannot be controlled. They see that this is a sovereign entity in the American political sphere, and it cannot be bought, it cannot be canceled, it cannot be dictated to, and that is what terrifies them. Now, out of the political mainstream voices, elite, whatever you want to call it, who is the clearest embodiment of that sovereign, of that maligned sovereign, as Haz al-Din put it? The most perfect embodiment of that malign sovereign that exists within the political mainstream is Tucker Carlson. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with me on that. Tucker Carlson, he opposes the regime change wars in Latin America. I don't know what his views are on Africa, but I'd assume he probably opposes regime change wars there. He opposes all of these insane conflicts that we're waging in the Middle East on behalf of Israel. He opposes the NATO proxy conflict with Ukraine and Russia. This is what the establishment fears, and this is why there's now a war against Tucker Carlson. But when they come for Tucker Carlson, when they say these things about Tucker Carlson, I want you to understand they're talking about me, they're talking about you, they're talking about MAGA itself. These snakes that find themselves in these positions to critique and condemn us, they are not the embodiment of MAGA. No one listens to them. They don't have serious followers. They're boosted on social media by Israeli bots. They're all paid to say what they say and when they say it. And the finest example of that is Randy Fine. Now, I do want to say that Randy Fine, although he is supported by various, pro-Israel lobby groups in the United States, and he was supported by AIPAC in his election for Congress recently, what's interesting about Randy Fine is he is so deranged that AIPAC actually dropped him. After openly calling for starvation in Gaza, starvation of civilians, Randy Fine, U.S. congressman, was removed from AIPAC's website as a candidate that they endorse. He was recently condemned by Israel lobby group as these orgs deny starvation is occurring in Gaza. So he is so insane. He is so twisted and sick and just sociopathic when it comes to supporting Israel and their goals, their true goals that they deny themselves, that AIPAC had to remove him from their website. Now, I want you to listen to what Randy Fine said about Tucker Carlson, because there was this major event called the Republican Jewish Coalition, one of the biggest, pro-Israel lobby groups in the U.S. They still support Randy Fine, as you can see here, because he was speaking at their event this week. And they got all these weird kids to hold up signs that say Tucker is not MAGA. The cutting edge genius. Take a listen.
I want to talk about the dark force rising on our side. Multiple speakers have talked about the rise of anti-Semitism on the right. But it is not enough to speak in platitudes or generalities about the fight. We must call evil by its name. 5 years ago, if I was talking to my father, who's watching, hi Dad, if I was talking to my father at 8:59 p.m. at night, he would say, Randy, I gotta go. Tucker Carlson's gonna be on. But make no mistake, today, Tucker Carlson is the most dangerous anti-Semite in America.
Oh!
He has chosen...
Tucker is the most dangerous anti-Semite in America. What about the universe? What about the galaxy? Why are we limiting ourselves just to America? Now, I want you to understand, this sticks with absolutely nobody. Everyone is still going to make fun of Randy Fine. Everyone is still going to make fun of Ben Shapiro. And you'll understand in a second why Randy Fine is attacking Tucker. I mean, it's really clear why he is calling him the most dangerous anti-Semite in America. And it's because Tucker suggested, as ludicrous as it sounds, that maybe we should not, support nuking Gaza. Take a listen to this.
Congressman Randy Fine of Florida. And he said this the other day on Fox News last week, quote, in World War II, we did not negotiate a surrender with the Nazis. We did not negotiate a surrender with the Japanese. We nuked the Japanese twice in order to get unconditional surrender. That needs to be the same here in Gaza. There is something deeply wrong with this culture, and it needs to be defeated. So we're going to nuke Gaza because of its culture. We're going to kill everybody because we don't like the culture, which, by the way, lots of Christians in Gaza, Muslims in Gaza.
Just innocent people in Gaza of all kinds.
Well, of course, but to say there's some Gazan culture that's cohesive, it's what? But we're going to kill them all because we don't like their culture. And so I didn't believe that was real. I didn't really think he was a member of Congress. So I texted a friend of mine in Congress, is this really a member of Congress? Yes. I don't even know what to say to that, but that, first of all, it's evil. But how can you say something like that and not get expelled from Congress? How can that person be a member of the Republican Party?
How can that person claim to uphold any sort of religious values? I mean, I think everyone agrees that God created each person as a unique entity. There's no inheritance of evil across entire cultures or entire peoples or entire countries. Randy Fine would want you to believe that when God created the Palestinians, he put some evil gene into all of them, and therefore that justifies Randy Fine's threat to nuke them or to starve them. It's insane. It's literally satanic. Keep listening.
He has chosen to take on the mantle of leader of a modern-day Hitler Youth, to broadcast and feature those who celebrate the Nazis, those who call for the extermination of Israel, to defend Hamas, to even criticize President Trump for stopping Iran's nuclear ambitions. Friends, make no mistake.
Yes, apparently Tucker Carlson is the largest anti-Semite in the world because he opposed war on Iran. He opposed nuclear war in the Middle East, and he said that we shouldn't nuke Gazans.
Tucker is not MAGA.
Oh, burn! Burn! Literally no one applauding right now. There's zero applause.
Tucker's fall from grace has been one of the most extraordinary implosions in political history. And the rapidity of it has created real challenges for us all. Because our friends don't have our shared experience. I even deal with this with my colleagues in the House. See, they remember the Tucker of 5 years ago. They don't live with anti-Semitism every day. They don't think about it the way that we do. And it's jarring.
Yeah, no one was condemning Israel 5 years ago as much as they are today because Israel was not in the middle of bombing 200,000 Gazans to death. Israel was not starving all these people. Israel was not in the midst of, having their agents like Randy Fine say that we should drop a nuke on Gaza. Israel was not, in the midst of threatening a war on Iran. So yeah, the reason why people are condemning Israel today more so than they were 5 years ago, and yes, people were condemning Israel 5 years ago, by the way, because they were doing horrific things to Gazans and the Palestinians in the West Bank back then in 2019 as well, and really all throughout the history of the state of Israel ever since they came in and forcibly displaced 750,000 people, 350,000 of whom ended up inside of Gaza when they were kicked out of their homes, kicked out of their ancestral homelands. That's why. The reason why Randy Fine, everyone makes fun of him, the reason why that video has 300 likes, the reason why no one takes these people seriously is because they are the modern embodiment of evil. Lindsey Graham is the one saying, we lowered your taxes and we're killing all the right people. And he's laughing, drunk, as he says that. This is the guy saying we should nuke Gaza. These people are insane. How is it that those who are advocating for peace are the evil ones, but those saying we should nuke Gaza, we should start a nuclear war with Iran, we should starve the Palestinians, they're the Tucker's the evil one, Marjorie Taylor Greene, the one saying that this is war criminal behavior, they're the evil ones? Makes no sense whatsoever. Israel's bombing Gaza this week because they claim the Palestinians gave the wrong bodies of hostages back to the Israelis. But did anyone mention that Israel doesn't allow DNA kits inside of Gaza? They bombed every hospital in Gaza. There's no medical equipment inside of Gaza. So they knew that the wrong bodies would be returned. And then they proceeded to bomb them regardless of that fact. Regardless of how much money is behind them. They will not be the future of any political party in the United States. These are their final days in office. The youth of the United States are done. And by the way, I would also add that Jewish Americans are done. 61% of Jewish Americans say that war crimes are being committed in Gaza. 40% of Jewish Americans say a genocide is being committed in Gaza. It's over. These Zionist genocidal freaks are over. Their time in Congress and the White House is coming to a close very soon, and we will not have to tolerate this insanity any longer.